All right, so let's talk about the 2027 ballot emergency, the battle to deregister the NDC opposition. The war for the next general election has officially moved to a scorched-earth legal battlefield today, following intense backdoor meetings between former Governor Seriake, Dickson, and Rabiu, Kwankwaso regarding the survival of the new opposition alliance. A political state of emergency has been declared. Heavyweight Timi Frank has dropped a massive bombshell alleging a coordinated institutional plot with INEC and the courts to completely deregister and delist the newly formed Nigeria Democratic Congress (NDC) and other critical opposition structures right out of the 2027 register. The camp of former VP Atiku Abubakar has immediately backed the alarm, claiming the ruling class is using legal technicalities to choke out the mega coalition before voters can even see them on the ballot. So we are watching a highly dangerous game of political chess where the candidates aren't even campaigning to voters yet. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? Yeah. They're fighting just to keep their logos on the paper, while INEC maintains it is simply executing legal regulatory cleanups of dormant and non-compliant structures. The opposition says they're being systematically executed in the dark. Is this a legitimate sanitization of our chaotic political space? I think we have about like 50,000 political parties now. Or is it a preemptive institutional demolition of the alternative ballots? Let's have your word on this one, sir. And you can correct me on the 50,000 one too.
Yes, we don't have up to 50,000 political parties in Nigeria. You just saying that with some hyperbolic,
everywhere.
With some hyperbolic thing. But the truth of the matter is that this does the optic of what you are seeing there is not good for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And if it's looking in the wrong places for inspiration, I think that would be rather sad. It would be tragic, because if you look at people around you, all they want to see is take a dive in the ocean and then get themselves killed, and then you say, "Oh, that recommends itself as a good example." I think somebody will tell you that in itself does not really. It doesn't sound as something that is intelligent to do. It does not look like something that is wise to do. What are we saying here? What we're saying here is that Nigeria must be able to step out and prove its exceptionalism. That, okay, while everybody is losing their heads, all Nigerians will keep theirs. If we can look to anywhere anymore, any horizon, to see good examples to copy in respect of a democracy that works for everybody, at least we can look inwards and reinvent things about sense of justice that is original and traditional to us as people of African descent. This is not what this moment is not really affording the system in Nigeria. The point I'm making here is that that very attempt to act in a cowardly, sneaky, serpentine way, to sneak up. I mean, to sneak on your political opponents and then undermine them, such that you want to deregister them, delegitimize them, instead of allowing them to be on the ballot as a multi-party state. You fight fair and square. Instead of doing that, you sneak on people. You want to hamstring them. You want to, gain undue advantage against them just because you are the incumbent. That is what they are doing. And some so-called judges are really offering themselves as cannon fodders, as willing tools. That's a shame. I have thought elementary knowledge, rudiments of democracy, of modern governance, the presidential system we embrace, republicanism, will teach us that there will be checks and balances. There will be this attempt to make sure that there are separate. I mean, there is separation of powers. The ability of co-equal arms of government to really keep an eye on the other and review the system such that every person every citizen in the system will feel protected. Here is almost like derobing people in order to make them feel unworthy. And everybody is worthy of trying his or her luck in a democracy. So if the people, I mean, without using any cunning attempt, any unbridled arrogance to want to rein in opposition, you allow everybody to be on the block, they test out their popularity with the people. Like the ultimate choice, the ultimate decision as to the worthiness of any character, any person, any political party, let that be determined by the voters. But here, these people are not willing to allow for fair competition. That in itself is sad. So if Atiku now is raising a dust in support of Seriake Dickson, the founder, of Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, how can you imagine that an unregistered, a colorless organization, an unregistered political party, it was merely aspiring as an association to be registered, and then the NDC picked Peter Obi, I think May 3rd, or Peter Obi went to NDC May 3rd. This organization popped out of nowhere May 5th to go to the local court and then demanded the deregistration of NDC. I don't get it. The thing is so murky. In fact, you place Nigeria side by side countries like Uganda, where later Idi Amin did its rubbish, and Museveni since 1980, and the son that has been prepared to take over from him now as the chief of army in Uganda is saying, oh, he doesn't want freedom of the press and all that. There is no difference between what is happening in Nigeria and all those wimpy countries. And this is a shame. Nigeria ought to be better than this. And this is a country that has conferred on itself the toga and the wig of giant of Africa. Anyway, we conferred on ourselves such a bogus titles. And now we are the ones easing ourselves out of that responsibility. Isn't that some poetic justice? For people to take us as what we want to be seen as the giant of the black race, we must conduct ourselves responsibly. We must do things that really say that we are people of integrity. This is the point I'm making. And so trying to deregister a party like NDC through backdoor means using faceless buffoons, idiots, imbeciles, calling themselves smart politicians is really beneath them what anybody would want to see as the responsible conduct in politics. And I think it's not too late for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his handlers to back off all these boju-boju, hide and seek games that they are pushing. The Yorubas call it boju-boju, hide and seek. It's juvenile, it's childish, it's irresponsible, and it's not going to take us very far. And then the world will be now getting ready to poke fun at us. And if we don't want to reduce ourselves to laughing stocks all over the world, I think we should brace up to do things properly. And this morning, while NDC went to when NDC went to INEC to get the code that would get them listed on the portal where they can upload their candidates and what have you, they were denied. Denied based on a judgment given to a non-entity organization. It's not known to law, yet they listen to them. But people who have valid address and pedigree and real personalities are struggling to get justice in Nigeria. They are not getting. You see the contradiction in the system. You see the way the system is dishing itself in. These are things we must think deeply about. But you know, democracy, good governance, and nation building, they are always works in progress. And nobody should write Nigeria off. Nobody should give up. Nigeria will also outlive everybody trying to pin it down and then make it look like, oh, it's that personal fiefdom. It cannot be, and it is not. And so, while this season must have passed, Nigeria will still continue to endure. Will still continue to live, which is why everybody must contribute, must do right by the nation. Make sure that we are not trying to be smart Alex against the system, because people listen, and nature does not forget, and everybody in this ledger will be served good justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Make sure you're joining the conversation in the comment section. We'd like to see it. We'd like to see it. Welcome to Sharp Edge News TV. And yes, we're going to go into our next segment. We're going to go into the weekly Sharp Edge News TV special right now. And we'll be right back.